And hello everybody, we are the SpiffyNeedleGeeks, as I'm sure you see in the bottom left hand corner, we are playing the very first Digimon game that I've ever played, Digimon World DS.
This is the first Digimon game you ever played?
Yeah.
Oh. I've never played any of the Digimon video games, so I have no idea, what to expect.
The only Digimon game I ever played was Digimon World 3 for the PlayStation. That's just about it.
Yeah, that's like mild spoiler. That's what I was intending to play before this, but for some reason my PlayStation emulator was acting like a butt, so I'm playing this instead.
Oh.
So, one thing to take note of between Digimon World games, they're never the same. Like, there's always drastic differences in gameplay between each game.
So is this like an RPG, or?
Yeah, it is. It's an RPG. We'll get more into it as they go along. So here we have Spiff.
Of course.
A middle school / high school. I'm not actually sure how old she is, but she's in a school with a computer lab. So that kind of tells me high school, honestly. Unless Japanese middle schools have whole computer labs.
Wasn't the majority of the Digimon series like the kids are like either middle school or high school?
Yeah, it ranged.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I've actually only seen the first one, the sequel. I think it's called Adventure 2 in Japan, and I watched a bit of Tamers on Netflix, like the Japanese version of Tamers, and it's really good. But that's about as far as I've gotten, so I have no idea where we are right now. It's like I've been meaning to watch the new one.
Well, Digimon World DS is based up to the point of Generation 5. Which I believe was called Digimon Savers. I saw it a long time ago in the Japanese version. But effectively, like obviously, another thing that they bring up with a lot when it comes across Digimon AUs, this is a whole different kind of war. This is a whole different continuity of Digimon. It's based off the Savers world.
Okay,
I see.
But even then, like this in and of itself isn't even very. This isn't even. What's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. This isn't very true to how Savers even worked. Because Savers was pretty strictly towards, really the only ones that got Digimon were, the Savers squad themselves. Like, this whole world right here, where we see here, now Spiff is now in the digital world. Like, humans randomly being sent to the digital world, and what we're going to see later on, involving more humans, this didn't really happen in the show. This is, once again, a different continuity.
Okay.
Oh, sounds like something's happening over at the Blue Arrow.
Yeah, a class.
Oh, I recognize some of these guys.
Of course. And then there's obviously going to be ones that you won't recognize. So pretty much what's going on here is, this is kind of a small introduction to what Digimon is for those who are, for whatever reason, are coming into this game without knowing what Digimon is at all. It's pretty much just explaining how the evolution generations work.
Yeah, because that was actually one of the things about the show anyway, because it was it's kind of weird when it comes to everyone makes the comparison Pokemon versus Digimon, and I'm definitely part of the crowd where, as far as games go, granted, I don't know much about the Digimon games, so I'm totally speaking out of ignorance here, but it's I definitely keep up with the Pokemon games more than I do the show, but even as a kid, it was I watched Pokemon, I watched it for a little while, but I don't know, I think maybe I grew out of it a little bit, and that was when Digimon came on TV, and I kind of migrated over to that.
Yeah, also, Cormon, you're wrong. The in-training are not what hatches from the eggs. The fresh hatch from the eggs. F-. Anyway.
Yeah, the babies.
Damn.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying, Danny. It's typically, at least earlier on, Digimon definitely had the better show, whereas Pokemon had the better games, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though it's funny enough, actually, since Pokemon XY, the show, Pokemon's giving Digimon a run for its money currently.
It's like, you're going on between, like, Pokemon Vision Digimon, because it's like, yeah, funny you should mention that, seeing as how the latest Death Battle did feature Pokemon versus Digimon.
In Digimon 1, not surprisingly, considering how their evolution works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess for those of you who don't know anything about Digimon, I'm sure the games keep it very similar, but as far as how the anime handled it, evolutions in Digimon versus how it was handled in Pokemon. You know, Pokemon, when a Pokemon evolves, you know, that's it, that's their current form and they stay that way. Digimon, because these are not like truly organic creatures, these are digital creatures. So they have the ability to literally go from one form to another freely, you know, and depending on, you know, the kids that they, you know, they're partnered up with and everything. So usually, like, there's different versions, like BJ said. I mean, you start out, like, when they hatch from eggs, those are, like, the fresh baby forms. Then there's rookie, then there's training.
You missed in training.
In training,
then rookie.
In training, rookie, champion, ultimate, and mega, I believe. And I'm sure later incarnations probably threw in another rank in there or something. But
it always stopped at mega.
Okay,
like,
because
there were different forms. Those have always been like there was like where a mega form would like get a more power would get like a more powerful like mode to it, but never anything past mega.
Okay. Yeah, but it's like basically, you know, it was always a common thing where it's like, you know, usually like the rookie form would kind of be like the default form, like that's what you see like Terriermon here, Agumon, like the ones that you usually think of, you know, in the show. Those are the rookie forms, but then it's like, you know, something happens like, oh no, their Digidestined partner's in trouble. They end up digivolving into the next level, so they become, like, champion level, but then after the battle's over, they can just switch right back into rookie form and, you know, continue on their merry way.
Not so much switch right back. They normally just turn back once they run out of energy. It's slightly different in this game. For one thing, you'll be able to digivolve freely. You don't need to be in any trouble. It's like it works. I'll be able to explain it a little more later on. And also an interesting thing as well. Once you digivolve a Digimon, you don't have to switch it back up until a certain threshold. But I'll explain more of that later. But where we are currently is actually the Tamer Union. So this is what I was talking about before, where this is something that wasn't in the original Digimon Savers show. There was no Tamer Union. There weren't any other really humans that went to the digital world aside from like the main cast. So this whole area is pretty much where tamers will come by. This is where they become tamers, and this is where they're ranked up and such.
Okay. So how many tamers are there in this game?
Kazuya here explained, at the very least, he thinks that a rough estimate. He says there's at least around 30 humans in general. As for tamers, I don't know the exact number, but there are a few humans at least. But some are tamers, some are researchers, some just hang out.
Okay. Yeah, because I know usually in the shows, like, you know, usually you have like a small amount of kids that are actually tamers. I think like 02, I think it was, if I recall. It's been a while since I've seen 02. But isn't that the one where it's like, you know, you had the original Digidestined kids, but then you got like the new batch of kids, then like the guy who started out as the villain ends up becoming like one of the good guys, and then they keep running into people that are tamers, even if they're minor characters, and like even at the very end, like, the whole epilogue that really divided everybody was like, oh, now everyone in the world has a partner Digimon, so now everyone is tamers.
Which kind of, you know, half-assed the whole idea of Digidestined, but it's like... Yeah. That's pretty much how this game works. Pretty much how Mr. Guru here is gonna explain it actually pretty soon. Pretty much anyone who tries to look up what Digimon are, if those in the server feel that the person that's looking them up is actually worthy of becoming a Digimon tamer, whether it be their strength or their compassion, they'll be sucked in, and then they'll be given the option to become tamers. Which I'm pretty sure literally anybody who gets sucked into a world full of Digimon, void of most general responsibilities, will be like, "Fuck yeah, I want to be a tamer." Though if you refuse, they will send you home. So it's not like you're trapped here.
Okay. that's like if you've never seen the show, but if you want to watch the show, I believe they've got it on the episodes on Netflix, both English and Japanese. So take your pick, whichever one. I mean, English is all right. Japanese, I definitely prefer. But I think her name is Jesu Otaku. She used to do a lot of anime reviews and everything. I think she's actually officially retired from anime reviewing. But for a while, she was actually doing like a really in-depth retrospective on the Digimon series, and I highly, highly recommend that you look into it if you ever want to know a little bit more about the show. Because I mean, she goes all into the details about like, how the world works, the characters, how the characters in the Digimon fleshed each other out. I mean, it's really, really good. I definitely recommend it.
Right. Okay. Well, here we see the Digimon we saw before, CV Angemon. He's the leader of the Tamer Union. And he's pretty much the one who is going to assign us as a Tamer.
Okay.
So, in terms of how taming works in this world, it's effectively, like, for one thing, you're not limited to only one partner Digimon. You can actually have as many Digimon as you want. And it works on a ranking system as well. So we're obviously starting off as a beginning tamer, and stronger Digimon will only listen to you as you rank up. And yeah, he explains it right here. You have your normal, you have your bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and then you end off with Tamer King, which only a select one person will get. Guess who that's going to be? Anyway, Digimon generations will only listen to those of higher ranks. So currently, in my current state, I only have access to in-training and rookie Digimon. Yes, I can Digivolve to champion level if I want, but they won't listen to me at that point.
Aw,
okay,
man.
so it's kind of like the whole thing in Pokemon, where it's like higher level Pokemon won't obey you unless you have a particular badge.
Yeah. Okay.
You got Spunk Spiff. It's like
Spiffy Spunk.
that sounded.
Spiff Spunk.
Yeah. Okay, let's just stop there. I mean, we have children in here.
Oh god. I get it. Oh, good lord.
Agumon.
Hey.
So Agumon's gonna help. Is pretty much gonna finalize the registration with the paperwork and such. Yeah, I apologize if this is a rather slow episode, but this is just how the beginning of the game works. Unfortunately, just getting you into it. So how I have the screen set up, in the top left-hand corner is the top screen. This is where you see your Digivice.
Okay. So what does the Digivice do in the game as opposed to the show?
Well, obviously, it does play as your menu. This is where you'll be able to Digivolve your Digimon. This is where you equip your Digimon with weapons, how you handle your items, how you handle your missions, how you handle your logs. It's also how you save.
Okay.
And when you're not using it, you'll be able to see a separate function into it, which I'll demonstrate a little later on.
Alrighty, yeah, because in the show, these little Digivices that these kids had, pretty much all they did was, that was what allowed the Digimon to Digivolve, but that's pretty much the extent of what the Digivices did. It was just, if you're Digidestined, you get one of these things, and that's what allows them to get stronger, and obviously you collect more things to combine with the Digivices. Like, I know in the first series you had crests that represented, a particular trait that, resonated with the kids. Combine the crests with the Digivices, and that's what makes them go into, ultimate form.
Yeah, well, it's not that detailed here. Though, I will say, in terms of Digivolution, it is a little more complicated. There are actually a lot of factors which will involve how Digimon Digivolve. For one thing, there's levels. Obviously, doing battles will level up Digimon. But then there's also different kinds of experience points. There's many different types of Digimon, like how you see here, Agumon is a dragon-type Digimon. We saw earlier that Gabumon was classified as an animal Digimon, and then there are many other types. We'll see here over on the left we see Tanamon, which is classified as a plant/insect Digimon, And speaking of which, this is actually where we're choosing our first partner Digimon. We have our choice between Tanemon, Koromon, or Sunamon. Tanemon is more bulky and has a lot more MP, which means it can use more special attacks.
Okay.
Koromon in the middle is more aggressive. I'm sorry, wrong Digimon. Koromon, being the dragon Digimon, is actually balanced, as he's saying right there. Ooh. It's both at attacking and defending. Sunamon is the aggressive one. He is the glass cannon.
Okay, yes. Yeah, because, all of these starters that you got, these are all from the first season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Koromon would actually digivolve into Agumon, and that was the partner Digimon for the main character, Tai. Sunamon would digivolve into Gabumon, and I love the Gabumon family, but it was like, I love the Gabumon family, who was partnered with Matt, who is my favorite kid in the first series, and then, the other one,
Tanemon.
That's Tanemon. Yeah, Tanemon was Mimi's, and basically that was like a big giant plant. Like, it evolved into a plant, then it digivolved into a cactus, and then its ultimate form, it goes from a cactus to a fairy.
And I'm actually choosing Sunamon. His name will be Furry Mac.
Furry Mac.
Awesome.
Because here's how it's setting up the Digimon here. Now, one thing I will say, unfortunately, what the Digimon World Series tends to have a bad habit on, it's never consistent on Digievolution chains. But I'll get more into that next part. So, currently we're being called by our observer. There are 5 different observers, and they each look over the different Tamer ranks. So we will meet our normal rank observer in the next part. We will see you all then.
Alright, see you guys next time.